So thanks so much for coming along to this coaching session, and I know you've had a bit of time to think about it. So what's today's topic?
So I'd like to talk about how I can manage. I've got like a dual role in school, so how I manage my day-to-day teaching and that workload alongside managing a team and working with a management team as well. So it's just I need techniques, and I can't quite work it out at the moment. So I think talk it through will help.
Okay, great. And is that two or three areas? Is that
So I guess it is technically two areas because it's my management role and my teaching role, but I guess I've just said three because I think I guess there's times I don't quite align myself with it. So yes, it is two, but the talk, I guess it's my conversations with management as well as a separate thing, I guess. But yeah, it's still the same.
great? Okay, okay, thank you. Understood. And what's important about this for you?
I think it's really important because I need to be able to have a bit of perspective of what I do on a daily basis. I need to feel like I'm achieving something and not very self-critical at times. So I think I like to get stuff done. I'm quite efficient and I don't like letting people down, but then I need to feel okay now I'm a year into this in prioritizing things, and I still don't think I've got that balance yet. I'm still I'm working a lot longer hours than maybe I should, and I think I need to just try and feel comfortable with things not being fully finished, maybe in a working week, for example.
Okay, thank you for that. So there's lots of themes starting to bubble away already, aren't there? So where do you want to be by the time we finish? We've got half an hour today, so where do you want to be in that time?
I think maybe just, I mean, even just talking about it now, it's good to get it out there. I think just having maybe some acknowledgement in myself on what I could do to make myself feel better, even for next week. It doesn't have to be like all perfect and all working for the remainder of the year, but just having something that I can have at the end of the day today and think, right, that will work for next week, and I can just try that and see if it works and accept if it doesn't. And yeah, just a technique, I guess. I just can't. You can hear it in my head now. I can't quite find where I'm going with it. My head's quite busy.
Yeah. So you mentioned technique, but you also mentioned feeling better, and you mentioned a busy head with it all. So what would it mean to you if we made progress today and then you continue to make progress with this? What do you think it might mean to you?
It'd be amazing because I think this is the hardest part of my job, and I love my job. Don't get me wrong. It's probably one of my favourite things I've done so far in my career, but I want to also be happy and know that I'm still present at home and at my job. I don't want it to, I guess I don't want it to feel like I'm constantly working. So I think if I've got something that even by the end of today that's just going to make next week feel a little calmer, that's going to mean everything, because it's just it's a start, isn't it?
Okay. So it's going to mean everything. And the clock's running. Okay.
Sorry, too much pressure. I don't mean it like that. I know what I mean.
I know what it means. It's fine.
Yeah.
So should we get stuck into some of the detail then? Okay.
Go for it.
One of the things I'm struck by is that lots of leaders might face these type of challenges. So I'm not suggesting you go off and ask anyone for advice, but I'm really curious to know what you've done about this so far in terms of finding out ways, techniques, and all of that stuff.
So far, I've spoken to my husband a lot about it, because I found that an easier, obviously knows me well the way my brain works, and he tells me how he would manage it doing what he does, which probably isn't the most sensible thing in some ways because he's more freer with how he works, whereas I'm in a constraint. I have mentioned it to some of management team on that, and my head is amazing, and he's offered support and mentoring on how I can cope with things. But what I worry is sometimes I'm also taking out time to go do that. So I think it's my overthinking, I think, as well, that I'm not doing something's not working for me right now, and I can't quite work out how to get past it, really. I've tried last year, I tried to escape more into here, so this office space, and that did help, but I'm not being very successful with that this year. And I'm only how many weeks, 10, 11 weeks into the new year. So I'm just conscious, I don't know what else to do. So I'm a bit stuck. So I have asked for help, I have talked to people, and I've tried to escape here, but I haven't managed it this term, in all honesty.
Okay, and so you've had a go at something, but and you also mentioned something about a bit of some overthinking going on as well for you. Okay. So what is the situation for you?
So do you mean on a daily basis, like what? So I am currently an assistant head of a junior school. So there's about 17 classes from year 3 to year 6. So quite relatively big. And I'm a DSL, so a safeguarding lead as well. So I do academic and pastoral things for those forms. I work with the heads of year to develop strategies, either academically or pastorally, to support these children. Like I said, DSL, so then I'm in a meeting weekly, finding out about things. And obviously, if there's a safeguarding concern, I can get called out if I'm on a free and to sort out that. I am lucky though, because there are other people who are also safeguarding needs on site, but if I'm the one that's free, then I'm the one that goes. And I'm also a member of management, so obviously I'm a member of management as well. So I've got that, it's just a dual role. I'm actually teaching. I teach, half my timetable is teaching year 6, and then the rest of my time is management time. So yeah, so my working week's quite a busy week, and it sounds cliche, but no week is the same. So one week might be really heavy on pastoral things, and then the next week it might be really heavy on academic. So currently this week, it's actually just been really heavy on my form. So I'm doing loads of reports. I've just finished them. But then last week it was doing a transition event, and so it's just very varied job. A great job, but busy.
And unpredictable is what you're saying.
Yeah, very much so. Yeah, you can plan for things, and obviously I like to plan for things, and I'm okay with being unpredictable. I can cope with a change, but it's just then when that unpredictability happens, and then my list develops more, I then go into a bit of a which one do I prioritize now, because then my brain goes into I'm really busy. And I don't mean that saying that I'm really busy as in anything other than it's just my brain thinking still got to do that. Yeah, that makes sense.
So you've got lots of being pulled in lots of different directions internally, as well as what you've actually got to do.
A little bit, but it's not. I don't know how to describe it. It's not at the time when you're in it. It's not hard, but it's when I come back to my room and then I'm here on my own in school. I like that, but then I realise the extent of what I've not been able to do because I've let things go and put that to one side so I can help in the other situation. So like, for example, yesterday, my deputy head, the academic, she called a meeting. So in my free period where I had set up to do something else, because the meeting was called, I went and helped do the exams, which is absolutely fine. But it just then meant that everything else went on a backlog, and it's just hard. And I just don't know. It's almost like I'm not prioritising very well, but I don't quite know why. It might be too many tabs in my head. I don't know.
Too many tabs. Well, you mentioned earlier that you have had this new responsibility for a year. So what have you noticed is different in what you're doing from a year ago?
I'm more confident in a year, which is the irony in it, and that's why I'm struggling with why am I finding this management of time harder, because I know what's coming up. So I know I can not predict the future, but I can see what might come my way. What else is different? I'm more willing to make a decision than have to seek support. So last year can I just go double check? This is what I think, but I'm going to go double check. So now I'm a bit more confident with making certain decisions, like pastoral decisions or academic decisions. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still will ask for help. The only thing I probably would say is that maybe this year the difference is more people now leaning on me because they've seen me do it for a year. So now I've got 17 team members that come to me, and that's fine. But I think that could be my issue, because my brain's just gone into it now. Maybe because I'm so accessible, that's where time is potentially going. Yeah. I'm just going, oh yeah, it could be that.
Go on, then keep going. Say a bit more about what you've just
so yeah, so actually now I'm just thinking out loud in that, because I'm more confident in this role, I'm probably more present, and I'm more aware of having to check in on staff and to check in on the class. So I think maybe that actually last year I was protected a little bit from that, because I was I'd obviously check in with the deputy heads or with my head teacher, whereas now, because I've got more of a confidence, yeah, I'm possibly being leaned on more by other people.
And you also mentioned something about checking in. So are you out there sort of inviting the conversations?
So we've been asked to, like, obviously just like check in with staff. There's lots going on, so and that's a good thing. And so I will go in. Obviously, if somebody's got a pastoral issue, I will go and check in on that person. So you're assigned, obviously, because the junior school, I'll be assigned to the junior school staff. So yeah, I do check in. I probably don't do it as much as I could do it, but I think that's a bit more of me protecting myself as well because of my time. But yeah, no, I do go into classes, but not. And I guess that's like, in my head, it might be a 2-minute, just check in, is everything okay today with X people, Y people, but then it that develops. Yeah.
And that checking that you're doing, is it a good thing? Is it like an important part of your role?
It would be if it's a pastoral thing. So yes, that's part of the pastoral element of it all. So yes, that it would be me checking in to see that things have progressed from whatever had happened maybe the week before or 2 weeks before. So that's important. Academic wise, when I do it, it's probably more when something's pinged my way and I've been alerted to something. So I probably don't do that as much. But I get things, what we call them, like yellow cards. So they're like behaviour notes, like a behaviour like email. And so obviously I check in on when I see a pattern, and it's just things like that really. So you can't really leave that. And it's quite hard to do it in an email. Hey, how's it going? You know, I could do it that way, but I find email clogging up inboxes irritates people. It just is natural. It's better to talk, isn't it? So I think a quick 2-minute check-in, but it isn't 2 minutes, is it? It's 2 minutes to check in, then back to wherever you're going. So yeah,
okay.
It is important.
So it sounds like you've identified an area where more workload is there than maybe you'd thought about. Have you got any other like workload spikes?
Yeah, so we're another part of my role is to do transition between the prep school that I'm at and then the senior school across the road. So we have a lot of our year sixes go across to the senior school, so I have to do liaise with them to do transition things, and that's quite difficult because we're on 2 different sites. So that is an email or a Teams call or things like that. So that's something that I've actually not really done much on at the moment, in all honesty, for this term. It's just that's in the pipeline, so that's coming in January, so I can see that bubbling away. And then this term currently we're just doing reports and things like that. So it's just busy for form as well, because we've just had exams, we've done reports, so it's just end of term busyness as a form teacher.
Okay, so being pulled in all these directions with all these demands. I'm wondering what you're doing well. What, like, in terms of the management of all of this time and all these demands on you. What are you happy with? That
I respond to things. So I think I respond to things in the right way. So so for everybody else, if I manage well, so I make sure my class are sorted. You know, they're my priority. Then I'll make sure that if there's a CPOMs thing come through, that so I'm like a safeguarding thing, that I'm accessing and supporting if I need to. And then obviously if a meeting comes my way that I need to look at something for academic, I look at exams, things like that, then I do that. So I think I manage for other people things really well, but then I feel, yeah, so you've just asked for my good things, so I'm not going to go down that road. But yeah, so good things, I think I'm good to support for other people.
Yes.
I think.
Okay, so being able to offer, being able to be thorough, all of that. Okay.
Yeah.
And what does being like that mean to you?
I think that's really important. I think if you're not present and if you're not supporting the people that are asking for the help in management, then who do they go to? So I think that is the right thing, and I keep people who are like above me in management a bit updated, and I keep the team together, like, you know, together as well. So keep the heads of year updated or the class teacher updated. So it's important because that makes you a school, that make you, so it is important. Yeah, I think lost my train of thought then, sorry.
That's right, that's okay. Well, and why is it important to you?
Because I want to make sure I'm doing a good job for those children.
Yeah.
So they are at the heart of it for me. And if, without them being in the school, I wouldn't have a job. So they are the main thing for me, and they always will be. So, so I think that's why maybe I find it tricky to balance things, because if it's about a child, I'll go and sort it.
Even if it means you work a bit late and you're stretched, whatever.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, and you wanted to say before about the what's not so good, and you stopped yourself. No, that's fine. So share a bit about that.
I guess so. By being that proactive for other people, what's not good for me is that I am working till 6:30, 7:15 every night at school, because I don't really like to take stuff home. I know that it works for other people, but personally for me, I will take stuff home, so don't get me wrong, I'm not anti it, but it's just, I like home to be my home space, and I like work to be my workspace. I have had to, I work some Saturdays here, so I come in voluntary to catch up on my workload on Saturdays, and so I'm missing time with my family, and that doesn't quite sit as comfortably as I'd like it, as it could be. And I just think it's just because I'm not prioritizing me at times. So I'm so busy thinking about what the kids need and other people that, in fact, actually, I should be thinking, this is me now thinking out loud, but I should be going, actually, I don't need to rush to them just yet. They can see me at 4 o'clock after school if it's that big a deal. My issue I'm having is that sometimes I'm here at 5 o'clock on my own, and there's nobody, just management around. So that, I think that's part of the pressure as well, that I'm feeling I have to squeeze everything in because the staff are here, because I don't want to send an email out and irritate people in inboxes. So, because I do think conversations are better had in person, but so I think that's also hard as well, because obviously I'm managing other people's time. But maybe, now I've said this out loud, maybe I do need to prioritise things and say, well, if it's that urgent, you can wait till 4 o'clock to see me, rather than having to see me, when I'm free, or do it that way. You've just made me think that now, so it's good to see it out loud. Yeah.
Well, keep going with that thought.
Yeah. So my head's now going into the thing of I'm not prioritising me, and I'm putting everybody else first because I'm conscious that they want to go home to their families. But if they're putting the child up the same way I am, then it could wait to a certain time, potentially some of the conversations they want, and maybe book a meeting for that. And then actually then I'm prioritising my time, because then I know, that's going to take half an hour of my time, rather than it just being thrown at me going, there's an email, let's quickly go check that then, because obviously it's an issue. That's made me just think now, going, that's quite obvious thing to do, and I haven't actually done that. So yeah.
Well, who knows about obvious or not obvious, but it's turned up for you now, right?
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I would never have thought of coming to that. But yeah, okay. Yeah.
So what you've just discovered, that and the thing earlier on, what are these things teaching you?
It's teaching me that actually, just having this half an hour to just think it out with somebody else, or just having the brain space to go, right, put it all behind me. I'll go back to it in a bit, and it'll still be there. But I've now just realised that I actually might need to be a little bit more selfish than I am, but in a way that I can still prioritise the class, so my class, and then other people. But actually, by being firmer with my time, I guess, in that I should be able to stay in my classroom and not get disrupted, and ask them, can you book a meeting?
Yes.
That yeah, that's crazy actually to think like that. I didn't even see that half an hour ago. I guess because that's not naturally me. So I think that's what it is. It's because that's not I am naturally just like, yeah, come in, what do you need? And I want to help people, but I still be helping somebody, but just making them have to sit with it a bit longer. Yeah.
So you used two interesting words there. You used firm, but then you also used selfish. So can we explore that? Is being firm being selfish?
No.
Okay.
So, but in my head,
Mm.
it's that guilt factor. So this is just me. This is not anybody else. It's just me internalizing my thoughts. Is that I want to be able to support people, and I don't want people to think I'm just pushing them off or fobbing them off, because I'm not. And obviously, what somebody else's priority is different to your own. So no, being firm isn't selfish, but in my head, I have to get that out of my head, because that is clearly something I'm thinking at the moment. Me being firm is selfish, but it's not. Yeah, and I have to somehow get that across. It's not me being selfish. It's me protecting myself so that I can go home at 6 o'clock and feel that I've achieved something productive in the day. Yeah, I guess as well, like people don't know how many interactions I've had in the day, because it's not there in some meetings. Whereas if you saw it, I think I would then go, oh my gosh, that's why I've not got that done today, because I've had 5 people come and see me today.
Yes.
Yeah. But then the formality of that is a bit, I feel a bit uncomfortable, but I think that would help some things.
Just say a bit more about the formality and the discomfort.
Formality, like setting up right, can you meet me at this time? I'll put it in my diary. That's, again, it's just because I'm new to it all. So, and that is probably progression in this role, because I've got used to somebody else using my diary to help me. But that's actually me then trying to say, right, can you book a date? Can you book the time? Go speak to XYZ so that they can put it in my diary. That's just something I still feel I've got to get used to a little bit. But it's doable, isn't it? It's
well, I'm wondering, it sounds like you're going through sort of changes in your thinking as we talk. So what changes in your thinking do you think need to evolve to make this sustainable for you?
I think I just need to be more positive self-talk when I'm thinking things. So I think I come across as quite an empathetic, happy, positive person to others, but I think inside I can be very self-critical, because that's just the way I am. And I think I just need to realise that actually, by pushing, like genuinely, the thought of making somebody say, can you book in for an appointment, that isn't comfortable, but it is going to help me massively. Yeah. And I think it's just from this conversation already, I'm thinking I've got to get that out of my head, that it's not selfish, because it's not. I'm trying to do my job. And I think, it's just me unlearning a lot of years of that sort of self-talk. I think actually that's what that is. But it's a good thing, because how else can you be a manager? You can't. You'll end up burnt out, and that's what I don't want to go, and I don't want to be, and I still want to be a class teacher, because that's who I am, a class teacher. Happens to do a little bit more of other things on the side. Yeah.
And you use that really important expression, didn't you, about burnout? Is there a risk if you don't change of burnout?
That's what my husband thinks.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it's in my head these last few weeks. He's known me a very, very long time. So I think he's obviously spotted patterns, and he's just going, just notice, take care. There's got to be something that you can do, and obviously what works for him is very, very different to what works for me. Yes. Because he can control his job in a different way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So lots seems to have come out over these last 25 minutes or so. Let's circle back to the beginning, and you said you wanted to have a technique, but also have a feeling that felt different. So where are you at on those two things?
So the technique that I thought I possibly would go to was definitely not doing a meeting thing. That shocked me, actually, because I never really thought that. So yeah, it's opened my head a bit more to going, oh my gosh, that to other people that is the most obvious thing to do, but I just couldn't get to that point. So that is a massive bit of progress. I'll go home tonight and say, oh, guess what, and Lee will just laugh at me. Yes, I think the sense of relief, I still feel like a bit inside. I can feel it in my body, like going, oh, I will do it. Just I do feel uncomfortable, but I have to feel uncomfortable because that's how you progress in learning your new role, and you can't be comfortable in otherwise what's the point? So I've got to try and do these things. And I know for other people that would be the easiest thing to do, is to book an appointment with somebody and let them sit in what they're waiting to talk to you about. But there's a little bit of relief actually, because I thought you might have said like, oh well, because obviously I said you tried to come in here in this office space a bit more. I did think I was going to end up going, oh, I could try that again. But I mean, it's great. It's really good to come here and be on your own. But yeah, I would never. I think it's good to have something different, to try something else, and that's a relief actually in some ways. Now I've got to try and work out who I'm going to say, can I book a meeting for?
Well, one of the things that I wanted to pick up a bit about, like the relief and it has to be uncomfortable. Is there something about you seeing that there's an assumption that they will see this as a negative thing? You saying it's a meeting.
I think that's a really interesting question. So this is really hard. This is where my dual role is really tricky, because I'm on management and I'm also part of the teaching team. So I hear both sides and I'm in the middle, I guess. Would they see it as a negative thing? No, I don't think they would. But my perception, and you hear things when you're down in the corridors, you hear things like, and so I'm really conscious that I don't want them to think I'm fobbing them off, because I'm not. But I'd have to do it and they'd all be really, really respectful, because the amount of oh, I'm so sorry, I've got 2 minutes, but I really want to take a bit of your time. I won't take it long, and so I'm always welcoming. But I think if they knew how many people did that to me on a daily basis, I think they'd be absolutely understanding of it. But I would still want to be an empathetic person, and still, I don't want people to think, oh, the only way I can speak to her is if I book in to see her. That would make me very uncomfortable, and I don't think that's right. So it's just me balancing. It's basically me trying to prioritise what do I need to sort out straight away, and I can see that that is certain things, and then what can I say? Yes, we can meet, but not today. Can we meet tomorrow? And I've just got to be a bit braver at that. And that shouldn't, if that comes across as negative, that shouldn't be me. That shouldn't be on me, because, it shouldn't be on me, because that's their thoughts, not mine. I'm not trying to be, it's not a negative thing, and I can't control how they feel about me saying, can it wait till tomorrow?
And how confident are you? You just said about wanting to be empathetic. How confident are you that in those little delaying type of conversations that you will present yourself in a fine and empathetic way?
I'd hope that I would. I'd really hope that I would. I think if it was a conversation like they were coming past and they wanted to chat, I think I'd find that a little bit harder to sort of say, I'm really sorry, but can we put this off? If it was an email, think, oh, this has happened, I find that easy to say, great, let's chat about this tomorrow at this time if you're free. So I think I would find it harder to sort of stop somebody when they catch you in the corridor. And that's just something for me to work on, isn't it? But I'm not trying to solve everything right now this week. So I think maybe it's the prioritising. Somebody's come to see you, then that might not be the right time to go, here's a meeting, here's not. I think I need to try and work out what the content of what they want to ask, and then do like a little red, amber, green, where do I need to go? Can I give you a hold for today or not? But that's a little bit scary. I'm not going to lie, that is a scary thought.
So that sounds like Suz's triage process.
in my own mental, how ridiculous is that? Suz triage on how to deal with whether I should speak to you now or not. I know that sounds ridiculous, doesn't it?
So there are some words that keep coming up, like brave and courageous and stretch and all that stuff. Can I encourage you, maybe as like a walk the dog type of question, just carry on thinking about those things, thinking about like the feelings that doing this stuff is going to provoke. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's going to make me feel anxious.
Yes.
That is going to happen. Whatever happens, I can feel it now. Like I'm literally my hands. I'm playing with my hands, so I'm anxious about thinking about it. So the thought of doing it is, and when I do it, I'll probably like wince at the thought of doing it. But I'm hoping that by doing it, I will feel better, and I just hope I don't procrastinate then. That I'm like, oh my god, what have I done? Because that could happen, I guess. What else could it? I've forgotten the question, Charlie. My head's just gone. See, busy, gone.
Well, no, that's fine, because we're getting towards the end now, and now probably be a good time to start saying, like, being really clear on actions. And it sounds like that action you were just talking about is some action towards preparing for these type of conversations. So just name the actions you want to take from today.
I think that I need to, well, now I've got a method that I would never have thought about. So now I need to do the Suz triage. I know that I didn't mean it like that. But yeah, where if somebody comes to me in an email, I don't need to respond to it straight away. I can let them sit on that, and that's okay. So I think going forward, even for a week, if I can try and just not feel like I have to jump on it at 3:35 and read all those emails and actually prioritize me and my marking and my kids and do that way, then that's a good thing, because obviously if they're desperate for me, they'll come down and see me because they know where I am. So that's good. So my action, I guess, for this week, so I'm literally going to work on a week's basis here, is that don't jump straight into somebody else's issue. Let it simmer in an okay way, because if it was desperate, I would know from the content anyway, or they'd come and see me. And again, if somebody's come to see you, then that to me seems more significant than they go just an email now it's just popped up. So like if it that's just it, isn't it? It's just let it simmer. Yes. And that's okay.
So but the tingling. Yeah. So you've got some actions, but you also got some, I suppose, some planning and preparation actions in one area, in this area that's taken up a lot of your time. Is that enough for today? Is that enough to have an impact on you and work-life balance?
I think so, because I think I've got to test this now, because that's something I genuinely had not even thought. So I don't even know how I've got to this. It's just sort of come out in this conversation. So it's clearly deep down the back of my head. So no, I think that works for this week, because if I throw too much stuff at me, my head's busy anyway. It's not going to get done. It's a bit like when people say to me, come and use this space a bit more. I've got this space like 24/7, but I'm not using it. So maybe I could do that a bit more as well. Like I take myself off and do some stuff here that's like, and that might help as well. But no, I think just working on the being brave with the message, like saying like hold fire and I'll come to you, let's book this in. Scary thought, but we can try it.
And a question that you don't have to answer now, which is thinking about how you can measure success in this, how you can decide what's good and what's not good and what you need to progress with. So maybe have that, not one for answering now, but maybe to answer now, think about what you've learned. What have you learned about yourself by talking about this?
I've learned that it's good that I can openly talk about how I'm feeling. So I think that is a positive thing. And it's good actually to just be heard and then not be told. So you haven't told me right now to go XYZ. This has come out of my head. And I'm really interested to know how it came out, because I can't even remember now how it's all come out. But so it's been really good to know I've been heard and that I've made this choice, rather than somebody saying, right, go try this. Yes. So I think it's more likely that if it doesn't work or it does work, at least I've given it a go and I can tick it off to say, yes, I've tried that. And yes, it's worked, or yes, I've tried that and I need to tweak this. So yeah, I don't know if that's answered your question.
No, I think it has. It's your learning. And as we finish off now, how do you feel?
I feel great. I feel relieved, a bit scared, not going to lie. I feel a bit scared, but I feel relieved because how ridiculous is it that something as simple as that might actually make my day on Monday a little bit easier, or whatever day it'll be. And that is crazy. And yeah, so I'm feeling relief, but I'm a little bit scared.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being so reflective and honest, and I think brave with all of this stuff. And I'm really wishing you good luck. I'm rooting for you on Monday. I hope it goes really well.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Suz.
All right.